Welcome to Winds of Change. Our topic today is authenticity. Authenticity is the very essence and foundation of our basic day-to-day needs in communication. We all want to be perceived as authentic, but this does not necessarily translate in our communication. In addition, we sometimes justify not being authentic in order to avoid conflict or hurting someone's feelings. Not every person is equipped with the necessary tools to be authentic, and today we hope to discover what it takes for someone to truly achieve authenticity. In order to shine light on both conversation and authenticity, we have two very interesting guests today, Tana Heminsley and Deborah Fortney. We will start off with Tana, our authenticity expert. Thanks for coming to the show, Tana.
Good morning, and I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you. So, Tana, give us a little bit about your background and how did you start work in authenticity?
Well, I've been in business for about 25 years now. Born and raised in British Columbia in the interior of BC, and I've done a number of different things ranging from working in fashion and working in the energy industry, being an executive at BC Hydro, and I've been on this personal journey for about 22 years in parallel with my business experience. And it started when my first marriage didn't work out, and when I needed to understand who I am and why I am the way I am, and just to understand more about that. And so I wanted a way in the last couple of years to give back in the world. So 3.5 years ago, I left my corporate position. I was an executive at BC Hydro. And I wanted a way to give back in the world. I wanted a way to marry my passion for business as well as my love of leadership development and personal development. So to take all of this experience that I had on this journey up until this point and to put it together in a way that I could support and do my part in the world.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Amazing story. A lot of our passion work does come from personal triggers, doesn't it? From something that's gone on in our life, and then we want to make that better, right? So tell us, what is authenticity?
Well, authenticity is really being the same person in all parts of our lives. It's being genuine and grounded, and I was thinking about it this morning when I was reflecting about coming on the show. And authenticity, really what it is it's being able to live in each moment and to take in the information around us and to allow our emotions to come versus stuffing or blocking them. And to be able to respond in the moment to the situation based on authentic self versus the filters of personality.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, let me give you an example. So driving with our significant others.
Yes.
I think this is a common example in my experience. So when I'm driving with my husband, Chris, he's a very good driver, never any problems, and yet I like to tell him how he should be driving.
Absolutely.
And so over the 10 years that we've been together, I have been in the practice of learning to see my automatic patterns, which is control. I need to control the situation. I can do it better, feeling that I'm better than he is at driving, so I need to tell him how to do it. And I've learned to self-manage in the moment. So what I mean by that is I can see the fear coming up, I can notice it, and I can notice my inner critic and my critic of him. And I can stop in the moment and I can have more compassion and I can not respond. So I can quit being the backseat driver that I love to be and realize that it's really my issue. It's not about him. He's a great driver. We're at a very safe situation. And so it's about me being more comfortable with who I am and seeing the filters and the old automatic patterns and beliefs of personality and relaxing some of those to respond appropriately.
Wow, Tana, before I ask you my question, I even take it a step further when I'm driving with my husband. Well, I'll actually put the brakes on my side, or be trying to drive and steer on my side of the car, right? And so, yeah, I think that's a great example, because definitely I think I feel the same way. It's like is he driving safe? I have kids in the car, and if I was driving, the kids would be safer, we would be safer. So definitely go through the same thing. Now, my question is, I've heard that you can actually be, that it's maybe a myth, so I'm just thinking through the question here, that it is not possible to be your authentic self, because people say that, oh, in a business setting you're a totally different person, and at home you're a totally different person. And I know, as I was going through my education, that we had a debate once with one of our instructors or our professors, and the professor's belief was that you are two different people, that there are times where you are going to be in a professional business setting, and he felt that there were very two distinct personalities. And I was thinking, well, I don't feel that should be the right way. Like, whichever setting I'm in, I should be the same person. So could you tell me a little bit about that? Am I reading that right?
Sure. Well, it's interesting. One of the reasons that I started I have a leadership program focused on authenticity and emotional maturity. And one of the components is authentic leadership circles. And they're a place where we can come together and practice letting the mask down and letting the veils down of personality, and being ourselves with other people in a work situation or across companies. I actually find it's easier sometimes across companies than it is with intact teams inside of companies, because there are all of those issues. My own personal experience is that I spent many years with the mask on at work and with my corporate suit. I used to call it my suit of honor, or my suit of armor, pardon me.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of energy to be something different than who we are when we go into work. And we're told to use less emotions. We're told to suck it up and get with the program.
Absolutely.
At work. And what so the authentic leadership circles and the programs that I offer are about celebrating who we are and celebrating our uniqueness and bringing our truth and who we are into the work setting. So I respectfully disagree, actually, with what this person had said, and I mean, when a leader is really good, what they'll do is they'll hire people to speak their truth to them. So I will hire people who, while it may be difficult for them, I know that they will have the courage to speak their truth to me, particularly when I need a course correction as a leader. Because how will we be better as a company in those kinds of situations? I wanted to just give an example in a work situation of authenticity as well, if that's okay.
Of course.
So one of the areas where I find authenticity is really helpful is around managing conflict, and in the moment, and not even necessarily conflict, but potential conflict. So if an employee comes to their boss and wants to identify a risk or has a suggestion, and they are pretty clear that their boss is going to disagree with them, and they still know it's the right thing to say, and they come into the room and they share their thoughts with their boss, and in the first case, the boss immediately gets defensive. The eye contact and the body language are intimidating for the person, and the person goes, whoa, not safe, I'm not saying anything here. And they take that memory away with them and they shut down. Or they get defensive themselves, and there's a very different interaction than in a second case where the boss is able to self-manage in the moment or to be authentic. So the boss knows, oh, I'm totally triggered by this person, and that I really think this is this is a really stupid idea, and this is all going on in his mind instantaneously. I can see that may be my inner critic at play, or my personality, and that I may not trust this person, and yet I need to just let this go for a second. So rather than me getting defensive, which is my old pattern, what I've been working on is staying curious and in the moment. So the boss relaxes and breathes into the moment and stays curious about what the person had to say. So the employee has a very different interaction. And while they were really afraid to come in and say this,